Hi, welcome to She Spice. Words on the road propose that Diddy's mom has at long last had it with her child, and it appears she's prepared to emerge and let the cat out of the bag on his mysterious dealings. So what precisely is she supposedly going to uncover in a new meeting? Gan Bargan, a previous guardian for Sean Diddy Combs, shared an upsetting record of Diddy's past conduct, charging that the music investor once figured out his own mom. Agreement's memory portrays Diddy's unstable and harmful propensities, which he guarantees stretch out even to his nearest relatives during the meeting. Bargan described an episode including Diddy, his mom Janice Combs, and Kirk Burroughs, who was the leader of Terrible Kid Records at the time. As indicated by Bargan, Burrow had recently referenced that Diddy had slapped his mom, brother Kirk Burroughs, the president at the time. A terrible kid let me know that he smacked his mom. Bargan, nitty-gritty, a disrupting experience in a limousine left close to Terrible Kid Records' first Manhattan office as an arrangement. Diddy and Janice brush sat in the vehicle. Diddy was taking part in a heated telephone discussion. Mid-call, he attacked his mom, saying he shared with her, "Yo, didn't I advise you to remain out, mother?" MF Business Bargan, offended by Diddy's lack of respect, faced him promptly. "I needed to grab the shadow off him." Bargan communicated his indignation and incredulity. He cautioned Diddy, "Assuming you at any point converse with your mom like that again around me, I will beat the ish out of you." Bargan underlined that his responses stemmed from his job as Diddy's protector, as well as from his standards and childhood as a man and as an individual that I'm not going to allow him to disregard his mama. Bargan expressed solidly. He reminded Diddy that without his mom, he wouldn't have a business to discuss yet, and I advised her to avoid business. "Let me simply express this to you at this moment. In the event that she wasn't for her, you wouldn't have any business." Gene Arrangement's declaration offers an uncommon and disturbing look into the confidential existence of one of the music business's greatest names. He contended that Diddy's treatment of his mom is demonstrative of his more extensive disposition towards ladies. "Any man who puts his hands on his mom or discourtesy his mom will rush to put his hands on a lady," like that arrangement declared, defining an immediate boundary between Diddy's familial cooperation and his associations with ladies. This interview reveals new insight into the individual history of brushes, proposing that his public persona may be further disturbing. Ways of behaving, some of which might have been framed during his experience growing up. You see, since Cassie recorded her claim for what seems like forever, has basically gone down the channel. He's lost more than 18 brand bargains. He was started off his situation as director at his own organization, Volt Television. He's currently being hauled to court by the organization that appropriates his liquor drink, and the essay claims simply continue to stack up constantly. It's most certainly not going to be set time before he wipes his financial balance clean to support these court charges and fines he will be paying on top of that. Individuals have additionally been investigating his family to attempt to sort out how Diddy came to be the sort of individual that he is, and gracious man, individuals figured out a ton. It seems to be Diddy's furious dependence on drugs. These oddities and his activities against individuals are attached to his young life injury. Diddy was as yet a youngster when his dad died, so to accommodate the family, his mother, Janice, was maintaining 3 sources of income and supposedly was one of them. "My mom maintained 3 sources of income, and my grandma worked too. At an early age, I began my own paper composed by the web. Janice would sometimes bring a portion of the men that she connected with to the house. This is something she would do frequently, and Diddy would observe it happen constantly, as though this wasn't at that point terrible enough for an underage youngster to be seeing. Janice additionally purportedly imparted awful ethics in Diddy. She underlined the significance of laying out predominance. An example, she pounded home to brushes when he was 9, when another youngster took his cash. My mom wouldn't give me access to the house," Combs told Oprah in a 2006 meeting. She expressed returning out there and getting that cash, and assuming anybody at any point puts their hands on you, ensure they at absolutely no point ever do it in the future. She knew the truth. Human individuals smell shortcoming. They exploit you. You need to safeguard yourself. Janice's example may likewise have lined up with his normal tendencies. However, his future puffy moniker originated from adolescence. Fits of rage. At whatever point I got distraught as a youngster, I used to constantly episode and puff Combs, told Stream magazine in 1998. I had an attitude that is the reason my companion began calling me Puffy. It's likewise been accounted for by numerous sources that his father was a posse chief in Harlem. This was affirmed by Complex magazine back in 2013 in a dangerous article where they researched the guardians of a ton of well-known rappers. The article read, Diddy's dead. D. Melvin was a notable Harlem hoodlum who had associations with both Forthright Lucas and Nicky Barnes. Janice was the manager's writer pass on Chick after her better half was mercilessly unalived. When Diddy was as yet a kid, she took to raising youthful Sean all alone, and in the event that you thought this was terrible, stand by till you catch wind of Diddy's exceptionally peculiar relationship with his mom. Individuals have in reality been guessing for some time now that Diddy and his relationship with his mother go way farther than the ordinary mother-son relationship these tales deteriorated after. A video became famous online of Diddy and Janice enthusiastically kissing each other on the lips. Love you music too. This video was so awkward to watch. As a matter of fact, one fan remarked, I get having an extraordinary mother-son relationship, however, something about that trade was strangely awkward. Like when a few moms involve their children as spouses, a second fan added men who effectively participate in undesirable relationships. Elements with their mom will seldom have sound, heartfelt connections with ladies. They have a restricted idea of limits and bogus assumptions, particularly in regards to unwaveringness and responsibility. He said his mom never truly dated or had men around after his father kicked the bucket, and his dad passed on when he was 3. Diddy has been her individual for a really long time. This is dreadful, no question, except for what a great many people appear to neglect. As such, Diddy's reality has been loaded up with savagery under the steady gaze of any claim. Diddy spent years evading a background marked by open presentations of viciousness and traces of supposed crimes, despite the fact that the music magnate has had the option to shapeshift. His picture, as he would prefer his notoriety, has never been liberated from debate, while Combs plainly accepted his mom's recommendation to heart. He likewise reflected her hard-working attitude. He landed his most memorable position at 12, a newspaper beat then. At that point, worked at a service station and a Mexican eatery, as well as selling lemonade. He told Forbes he spent a youth summer with an Amish family in Pennsylvania through the charitable Outside Air store for internal city children, and it wasn't some time before his mom moved the family from swarmed uptown Manhattan to Mount Vernon, a suburb of S.W. Chester Province. She enlisted Combs, who was raised Catholic furthermore, filled in as a modified kid at Lofty Bronx All Young Men Foundation Mount St. Michael, where he wore the Nat clothing every day, played football, and consistently needed to set his sights. I recently knew I would have been an NFL ace player, he told the New York Times in 2012 after he broke his leg. However, Combs needed to modify his fantasies, and it was at Howard that he really started to utilize his muscles of impact, and impresario Combs apparently started truly establishing himself nearly following traveling south to D.C. to start his investigations at Howard, the generally dark college. He showed up at the last part of the 1980 C when New York-based hip-hop culture was superior at and brushes capitalized on that domain state association. He wore showy garments through parties and started building a company, and between classes, he actually carved out opportunity to run a van administration to the air terminal to supposedly sell old research projects and to try and bird of prey shirts and soft drinks, concurring to push Ronan's 2001 book, Awful Kid, The Impact of Sean Puffy Brushes on the Music Business. In the wake of fighting, understudies assumed control over an authoritative structure. He turned paper and magazine cuts about the occurrence into banner CS compositions and sold them back to the members Ronan composed. When Puffy came, he was an exceptionally ostentatious person. The book says schoolmate companion and individual undergrad advertiser Derek Angeletti are saying he was consistently out at the clubs and the little kids cherished him. He'd be on the floor doing every one of the new moves, and his style of dress was a minimal, more beautiful, bolder. Everyone considered this cool, careless, youthful fella. I was DJing at that point, and one night he came dependent upon me and said, I might want to set up a party with you. You're really well known. The pair started arranging occasions that he effectively campaigned VIPs to go to, while astutely remembering his own name for special materials. including the one that would put him on the map on his most memorable business card. In the base left corner, he had engraved with a puffman. Ronan composed for the following 2 years, and we arranged one damn party close to each week. Angeletti says in the book, including a homecoming at a Masonic sanctuary where they expected perhaps 1,500, 4,500 individuals, the DC police shut down the entire block and drew out the canines we needed to get kneeling down and implored them not to secure us. As Com's undertakings thrived anyway, so did his desire, which soon grew out of the Howard grounds. He started campaigning for record chiefs in New York. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.